Right. So, like I said, this night is all about just an introduction. So we won't go deep into what Scrum Mastering is. We just want to touch on have a basic idea of what Scrum Mastering is all about. So it's more of an introduction into it. So Scrum Mastering, according to the Scrum Guide, um, is a light framework that helps people, team, teams or organizations generate value through adaptive solution for complex problems. That's how the Scrum Guide has defined what um, Scrum is. Okay, but in a simple term, is just a framework that helps team to work together on complex projects or complex work. There's a complex project or work that needs to be done. The team comes together, they work together, like either they're building a software, they're creating a new product, it could be a service, or they're organizing their work. So they do it, in small, manageable chunks. It's a big project, but they manage it little by little. So they manage it in small, manageable chunks, and then they focus on constantly communicating, getting feedback from the user, and then improving on whatsoever they have done based on the feedback they have, received, in order for them to give value and quality to that work at the end, based on the time frame that has been set for it. Okay, so that's just in simple term. That is what Scrum is. And Scrum is an agile project management framework. So agile itself is an approach of managing a project. Okay, it's a way that you can manage a project, and Scrum happens to be one of the frameworks that falls under agile itself. Okay, so that is what it is in a nutshell. It's a big project, but you don't start and finish everything at a go. You take it little by little. You work on the piece of it. The users review what you've done. They give their feedback. You work on their feedback, and once they are satisfied with that feedback, you release that aspect that you've worked on. So it's all about adding value, getting feedback, being able to respond quickly to the feedback you've received, and also having quick and frequent releases as you go along. So you don't finish everything at one go. You just add up, there's an incremental value to it as you go along. That is how the agile approach is. And Scrum is a very common one that a lot of industries or a lot of professions are using out there. So the act of Scrum mastering is the act of leading and guiding a team through a project using some of Agile's project management framework. It could be Scrum, but the moment you master Scrum, what you have is an understanding of how Agile principle itself works. So you can't master Scrum without mastering what Agile is all about. Like I said, Agile is the umbrella that is covering Scrum and all the other frameworks or practices that are under Agile. Okay, so Scrum is just one of them. But the moment you master Scrum, you're also able to master all the other, you have an understanding, let me put it that way, and you're proficient also in applying all the other agile principle or practices and the value that agile has into all the projects that you're working on. So a client brings a project to your organization to say, oh, this is what I want to do about this project. This is what the project is all about. As a Scrum Master, you're able to look at that project, and even if maybe the person just understands, Scrum, let's just say the person understand, or the organization understands Scrum, and they have called you as a Scrum Master to say, oh, this is what we want to use, this is what we think, the approach we think, or the practice we want to use, the framework we want to use in order to manage and deliver this project. You're able to advise because you've become a master in what you do. You're able to advise them that, yeah, even though Scrum is good, but I think the best approach, the best framework of Agile that we can use to get the best out of those projects, to give value and meet the target timeline is you can suggest other, you can say it maybe Kanban and the other one. So that's why I said, as a Scrum Master, you're not just limited to knowing just about Scrum alone under Agile. You have to also have the knowledge, you have to have the understanding of all the other um, practices that you have under Agile. You can be proficient in Scrum, but you need to know the others and you need to know their process and how they work also, because the organization will expect you to know you are an agile person. You're a scrum master, but you're also an agile evangelist. So you should be able to advise, prefer solution, solution to the organization based on that. So that's when you move from just acting and leading and guiding a team in the agile framework called Scrum into other, being able to advise also in all the other agile practices that you become a master in, even though it's come, but you become an evangelist of agile, so to say, because you've become a master. You've mastered what you know. It's like somebody going, before you get your master's certificate, when you go into the university and you have your MSc and all that, you start with the bachelor's degree. That is the same way it looks like. So you've advanced to be able to use all the other frameworks that you have under agile also. Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to touch on the few ones. This is not all the other frameworks or practices you have under Agile. Sorry, I'm just trying to move this away. But you have other ones also. So this is just an overview. So we're not going deep into this, but just to show you that Scrum is not the only framework you have under Agile. Is the most, I think is the most common one. Yeah, but it's not the only one. So Agile itself, we need to be able to have maybe just a brief understanding of what Agile itself means for maybe anyone that doesn't know what it means. Okay. So Agile is where, in a simple term again, because I don't want to go deep into the technical definition that, kind of we get lost in it. So I'm bringing the definition as simple as possible. Agile is in the process where you're able to manage work or a project by breaking it, just like I explained earlier on, breaking it into smaller parts. You review it with the users. They're able to, give you feedback. You adapt quickly to the changes that they want. You're able to adjust, make the changes they want, it, bring it out, and then once that has been approved, it's okay. You're able to release it quickly also. So agile is all about early release, frequent release, having that collaboration with the users to say, is this what they want? Have we met your need? Have we met your expectation in this aspect of the whole big project that you want us to do? Oh yeah, this is good, this is nice, and everything. This is adding value to what we want and all that. You release that quickly based on an understanding, based on agreement. Some might not want it to be released as frequent as possible, but they might want maybe a bit of chunk, a feature to be released first and all that. But Agile is all about frequent releases, early releases, because that is what add value, rather than having the whole thing being built and then releasing maybe at the end. There might be some projects like that, but not all projects are like that. And the ones that you get your value, you start getting value to what you're building, which I think a lot of people want to do. They have a project, they put money into it, they want to start seeing the returns on time. So by the time you're releasing frequently, their clients are using it, is bringing value to them, is bringing investments and profits to their organization. That is what a lot of organizations are looking out for now out there. Okay, so like I said, Scrum is one of it, and the process of Scrum is you have the sprint planning. Don't worry, all those they will call them ceremonies, but don't worry, there will be a session where they will be dealt with in detail. So, like I said, this is just an introduction. So you have the sprint planning is one of the process of Scrum. You have the sprint planning, you have the daily stand-up, all these are meetings, you have the sprint review. The review is where the users and the development team come together to review whatever has been done. they work on the feedback they receive and all that in order to make it better. You have the sprint retrospective. The team meets to reflect what have we done during those 2 weeks, depending on the cadence that they're working on. What have we done? How best can we, improve on what we're doing and bring out the best? Then there's refinement also. They look at the requirements, the request that has come in and everything, and they're able to refine it. They ask questions, get clarification, have a shared understanding of what needs to be built in order for them to work upon it. And then you have the Kanban also. So Kanban is just a continuous workflow. That's another framework of Agile, is a continuous workflow. Again, you have the team there collaborating also with the stakeholders or the users. They have a visual board, and then the workflow goes on that. So with them, it's more of just picking what needs to be worked on, the prioritized work that needs to be worked on, moving it across. So that's why we call it workflow. But again, there will be an opportunity for you to have a better understanding of what we're talking about. So with Kanban, you have the visual board that shows the workflow as it's moving. You have work in progress limit, meaning that in a particular column, you don't want more than a particular number of stories to be there, because you don't want it to be too, you want to control the traffic in the column, if I can put it in that way. Okay. And then there's continuous delivery. So they're continuously delivering, they're continuously working. That's why theirs is more of a workflow. And then they have the lead time and the circle time also. All the understanding of this you would get in the course of your time during the internship. And then you have the save also. That is another framework of Agile, is at an enterprise level. That is on a larger scale, if I can put it that way. Is on a larger scale, is a situation where you have more than one development team working on a particular project. So that project is a very large project, cannot be handled by just one development team. So it might be about 2 or 3 development teams working together, because it has different components that makes that project, and they all have to work together on it. So that's why you have that. And then processes you have on that one is the program incremental planning, which we call the PI planning. The plan, so all the teams that come together, the plan, this is what we need to do for this is the team that is doing it. After that, you need to work with us, you need to integrate what you've done with us. So there are dependencies and all that, and that's why all the team come together during the PI planning so that they can plan. So they are planning on the program level what they need to the incremental value that needs to be added at the program level. And then each team now goes, into their own separate meeting, and then deliberate and plan how they're going to do it. So that's another process on a larger scale. That's another process on its own. It has the agile release train there, and you have the portfolio management, because that is what is being managed. Is a big one. So it's a portfolio that is being managed. It's like having one big project that is now broken down to smaller bits, because it's too big for, like I said, one team to deal with. And then you have the lean agile also, and the lean agile is the one that eliminates waste. So anything that is not needed is being removed, is more focused, more structured and more focused. So anything that is not needed presently to be delivered is not even brought into scope at all. So what that does is it helps that process helps the project team to eliminate waste. They are continuously improving, and it's like a just-in-time production. Like I said, anything that is not needed as at that time is not even you. It's not as if they don't think about it. It can be in their backlog, but they just don't want to focus on it. They just want to focus on what needs to go out now. That is what that is all about, and it helps to empower the team. So this is just a brief understanding or a brief explanation of all the other framework of Agile. But you can see that in each and every one of them, there is one thing that is constant. There is this planning, this collaboration that needs to come in. There is this agility that needs to come in. We need to do something. There is collaboration with the users. There is the ability to be, you have to be flexible. There has to be teamwork. There has to be communication, collaboration, and there has to be frequent releases. Those are the highlights of Agile. Okay, so quickly going on. Okay, so and the there is one person definitely that is able to help the team, support the team, and guide any team through this different frameworks that we're talking about. And that person is the Scrum Master. Okay. The person is the Scrum Master. That is the person that helps the team to um help them to implement that process properly, guide them through using that process effectively in order for them to achieve the goal at the end of the day, helping to bring together all the different experts that you have in that team. You bring the developer who is an engineer on his own in, you bring the software tester who is an engineer on their own in. If they are working with data analysts, they're able to bring that person in, and then they touch them, guide them, and support them. This is what the process is. This is the values of this process that would help you to achieve the goal, effectively. That is what the Scrum Master does. Helps to bring all of them, together, help to bring the team and also the stakeholders together, using the one person that is in between them, and that is the product owner, helping the product owner to be the voice of the stakeholder. This is what the client wants. And then collaborating also with the team, who are the ones that are applying their own expertise, their own creativity into things in order to deliver what the idea, in order to birth, if I can put it that way, the idea that the stakeholder, has. So as a Scrum Master, what are those skills? What are those things you need to be able to perform your role, very well, effectively? Okay, so you need to be able to facilitate a meeting. You can see that while we were talking earlier on, there were a lot of meetings that we're talking about. I talked about the process, the sprint planning, the daily stand up, and all that. You will be able to facilitate it, to be able to do it the right way, ensure that the ones that are time boxed, the team sticks to the time. It's not only about sticking to the time, but being productive at the end of that meeting, being focused. What is meant to be discussed is what is being discussed at that meeting. You will be the one to schedule the meeting. You will be the one to send out the schedule to the team, let them be aware of the meeting. If it helps to make the team focus, you can even draw up an agenda. This is what this meeting is all about. So that means in this meeting, this and this and this and these are the things that we're going to talk about and everything. That helps the meeting to be productive. That helps the meeting, to be focused. One way you notice that maybe the team are deviating, you have that skill, to be able to bring it back, to bring the discussion back to what it should be. So you're able to facilitate. You need a facilitation skill in order to be a Scrum Master, in order to help the team's meeting to be productive. Another thing you need to be able to do, because you're guiding, you're supporting, you're coaching, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to communicate with your team. Written, speaking, listening, all the communication skills, you need to be able to harness it in order to be able to help your team deliver. And another skill you need is a leadership skill, because I did say that it's a process that you understand. Yeah. Some of them might have worked in it to understand it, some might not, but you are the leader. You are the master of that process. You are the master of that framework. So you need to be able to support them. You need to be able to teach them teamwork, help them to collaborate and communicate, support, motivate, encourage them, lead. The Scrum Guide calls the Scrum Master the true leaders, and that is what you have to be. Leading by example, using yourself as an example. If that is what it takes to get your team, you displaying the values of Scrum, the values of Agile, so that the team can see it in you and they can emulate it also, get motivated by it, and then also be able to do it maybe much, much better than you have, so that they can be high performing in what they're doing. coaching, you can't run away from coaching, because this is a process that people don't understand and you're coming to teach them. So you need to be able to coach. You need to be able to do either group coaching, team coaching, one-on-one coaching. You need to be able to see where that gap is, know what that gap is. So it's not about just seeing a gap. You need to know the gap that you're coaching them for. Is it communication? Do you feel they don't communicate well? Do you want to coach them in communication? It might be any aspect of the best practices of Scrum that you notice that, okay, my team don't understand this aspect and I need to coach them. It could be some of those ceremonies also, they don't understand what it means. They don't know the value is adding to them. They're wondering, well, I'd rather just go, the developers will be wondering, I'd rather just go and do my coding, face my work and all that. I don't want to be jumping into all these meetings and all that. You need to show them the value. What is the value that meeting you're calling them to? What is the value that it's adding to them and all that? So you need to be able to coach your team in order for them to have that understanding. Also, you have to be a problem solver. Like I said, you're taking a process that they don't understand. Every change brings about resistance. So there will be problems, there will be, hiccups and all that. You need to be able to identify what the problem is. You need to be able to define it. It could be through your coaching, one-on-one or team coaching, that you're able to define it. You need to be able to explore it, tell them what it's all about, what's the benefit they are getting from it, make them comfortable in that practice. You need to be able to take action also. Tell the team, be able to talk to the team. We need to, plan. We need to agree an action that we need to take. Meet them, help them to understand, and then give them the power also to make suggestion. Because then you're making them own the process if you do that, rather than you just pouring out to them. Give them suggestion, give them the power to also make suggestion and everything, and let them warm up to the idea of that process that they want to work on. And then you reflect, you look back, what do we need to put in place? We've done this, we've done that, we've taken this action, this is the outcome of it. How do we get better in what we're doing and all that? And before you know it, they're warming up to it, they're taking it and they're running, with it, with you just guiding them through what they need to do. So these are some of the skills you need to have. And it's not limited to that. You need to have conflict resolution skills also. So there would be conflict. You don't have a team where there's no conflict. If you have a team and there is no conflict there, I would tell you, be worried than be happy, because you have to have conflicts. You have people with diverse knowledge, creativity, diverse creativity, and all that. And one person's creativity is not superior than the other person. So you need to know how to nurse all those together, let them come to a middle ground, compromise, take a bit of what this person is saying. The most important thing in resolution of conflict is to make both parties, understand what the other person is trying to say. They need to be able to hear what the other person is saying, not just their own voice alone. Even if at the end of hearing, if they still don't agree, but they've heard, and that could also help them to resolve the solution, to bring a resolution into place. So you need to have that skill of helping the team to resolve whatever conflict they are having. You need the skill of collaboration. There is no way you would lead a team and they won't be able to collaborate. So they need to work together, teamwork, support one another, succeed together. If there's any setbacks, it's all on. It's a team accountability rather than one person, taking praise while the others are taking blame and everything. You need to be able to build trust through collaboration with the team. They need to plan and do things together. Creativity is one thing you can't run away from. Conflict resolution, you need creativity to be able to resolve it. Collaboration, you need creativity to be able to resolve it. Even communication, at times, you need to put creativity in. What is lacking? Why is there no communication? Use creativity to bring that thing on board and then be able to make it work for your team. You need to be able to have you also need the team building skills. Okay, so your team is coming together. It might be the team are coming together for the first time. Everybody's coming from, like I said, different diverse background and all that. There has to be that team building in order for them to work together, in order for them to come together, bond together, trust one another, and work together, you need to build the team. And that is on you as the Scrum Master. Okay, so another skill you need is emotional intelligence. Okay, you have to be a social person, you have to be a friendly person, you have to be a warm person, you have to bring that warmth in, or else, you're coming into a team, you're new to them, they're skeptical already. So you need to warm your way into them in order for you to sell what you're bringing in for them. You need to be self-aware. Okay, you need to be able to read the room. You need to be able to read your team members, know when to empathize, with them, motivate them. You need to be able to do that. And you yourself need to be able to grow. You need to be able to grow. When you make mistakes, you feel you've made mistake and everything. Don't ever shy away from owning up. That's another way you can help as a leader to move your team. So to move your team forward. So you make a mistake, you own up openly to the team, and you say, "Oh, I was supposed to do this, I forgot to do that," and all that. What you're doing is you're setting yourself as an example. And before you know it, they are also able to own up. And once they start owning up, is about openness, which is one of the values of Scrum. It's about being open, being honest, and being accountable. So once you're able to do that and you're able to lead them doing that by example, your team is also able to pick that up and use it. So the skills are not just limited to those ones that are those are just some of it, but it's not limited to that. Okay, quickly also we want to look at the responsibility of the Scrum Master. So what are your responsibility being in the team? We've already talked about facilitation, and I talked about there are different types of meetings. It's not even limited to the Scrum ceremonies alone. There are some meetings that you might need to jump on, with the stakeholders and the team. There are meetings that you need to jump in. There might be a quick ad hoc meetings that they need to have. Your coaching sessions are other meetings that you need to set in place and have with your team, where you coach them on some of the best practices of Scrum and Agile. So there are different meetings that you will need to facilitate. Okay, so like I said, I talked about teams collaboration with the stakeholders. So there might be meetings they need to jump on with the stakeholders. You need to plan releases. It might be you're planning that releases with the product owner, but you're running it by the team, because it's not just about the product owner. The product owner has to carry that release plan also to the team. So there are different meetings you jump on. You help the team to form the team charter. So you're not the one forming it, you're just facilitating the discussion of them forming, understanding what a definition of ready, a definition of done is, what a team charter means, different meetings in order to help them to be more structured, in order to help them to follow the process. So you're able to facilitate, you're able to encourage. This is a system, this is a process they've not used before, this is a process they've not practiced before, they're practicing it for the first time. So there has to be a lot of motivation and encouragement from you. They might want to give up, but you just need to keep encouraging them, face-to-face communication. You need to be there for them. You need to coach them and teach them the things they don't know. Help them to be transparent. There has to be visibility on the board of what people are doing. Help them to be open in what they are doing. During the retros, reviews and all that, help them to be able to, reflect. I joined a team that they're very good in what they do and all that, but they just don't want to review. They don't want to meet with the stakeholders to for them to review what they're doing, because to them is that, oh, they're going to come and they're going to complain and all that and everything. And when I noticed that they don't even do review within themselves, so the first thing I did was, let's do review within ourselves. At least it's we. So there's no anybody from outside and all that. So we started that for I think about 3 weeks. When I realized that they are so, they are getting better in it, they are comfortable in having reviews, sharing their screen and reviewing, saying, oh, this is what I worked on during the sprint and everything, this is how it works, this is that and everything and all that. After 3 weeks, I gave another suggestion. I said, why don't we record what we're doing and everything and all that? Record it, play it back, hear yourself, you're sounding nice and everything. I put the encouragement in and all that, and they did that. And before you know it, we started gradually like that. And they are now having reviews, their sprint reviews with the stakeholders. The stakeholders are coming, they're having the reviews, the stakeholders are asking questions and they are answering well and all that. So there are times it's not just jumping into that, especially if you're meeting with a team that is doing it for the first time. You have to encourage, you have to be creative. If I wasn't creative and I'm just like, oh, part of the Scrum ceremony is sprint review. Either you people like it or not, you have to do it and all that. I will be the only one in that sprint review. No, they won't, nobody will come there because they don't want to do it, and there's no way you can force them, to do it. So you have to be creative in how you bring these ceremonies, how you bring agile and Scrum best practices to the team. Is part of the encouragement that you need to put in place. Also, you need to, as a Scrum Master, be responsible for reflection. The team needs to be able to reflect. You need to measure their performance. That's another aspect that a lot of Scrum team who have not practiced Scrum before run away from. They don't want to see the dashboard. They don't want to see charts and all that because they feel you're measuring their performance. You're trying to judge them that they are not doing enough and everything like that. So they don't want to see it. So you have to be creative. You have to be proactive to think, which of the charts, can I use first to encourage them? And then going forward, once they get a buy-in into that, you start introducing others. So those are some of the responsibilities that you need to have and be creative with it in order to get any team you're working with, either they are used to Scrum already, used to Agile already, or they are new to it entirely. You're just transitioning them from an old practice into the new one they're going to. So you need to be able to help them reflect, tell them the charts, the bundle charts, the metrics is not about blaming them. It's not about saying, oh, you didn't deliver at the end of the sprint and all that, but it's just a measure that we can put in place that helps us. You need data to be able to improve. You can't just say, oh, we need to improve and all that. What is that thing that we're looking at that tells us, oh, the aspects that we need to improve on? That try to help them to understand that those are what the metrics are there for. You help them to, maintain the tools that they use, understand the tools they use, maintain it. Somebody using something new for the first time they can get frustrated and all that and everything, but help them to reflect on it. So how have you used it? How has it worked? Do pair uh, um sorry pair them together and let them work together so that the ones that are experienced on it will be able to upskill the other ones that are not experienced in that particular tool. And because they are in the same role based sort of, let's assume now is a developer that is just coming in and doesn't understand the particular tool and all that, pairing them with another experienced developer to help them to understand that particular tool, will help them a lot. So you need to be able to encourage your team also to do that. It's part of your responsibility. And you need to appreciate your team. No matter how much they've done, no matter how much the sprint goal did not get achieved, the first thing you tell them is, well done, team. We finished the sprint, well done. The well done comes before, so how can we do it better? Not why didn't we deliver? What is wrong? Why didn't we deliver and everything and all that? You won't bring the best out of them. Say the well done because already they are down. So you taking them for that down is not going to achieve anything. Appreciate them. Learn to appreciate them. Learn to help them to take pride in whatsoever they have done. And then the improvement, reflection, and putting improvement in place can now come in. You need to protect your team. Okay. So there will be distraction from other teams wanting them to do things, and that would affect the goal that your team needs to achieve. So you need to be able to protect them. You need to be able to mediate through conflicts that they have, because the team has to be healthy. Healthy in the sense that I'm not talking about individual health now. I'm talking about the team itself being healthy. There has to be psychological safety, for them, knowing that in this environment we call a team that we're working in, we're saving it. I can say things, I can bring my weakness out, I can be honest, I can be open. Nobody's here to judge me. People are here to help me. You need to bring that into your team, and that is you protecting your team. Okay, you need also to be able to put in learn and share. That is where your coaching comes in, where they're able to consult with you on things that has to do with agile, things that has to do with Scrum, and you're able to put them through, you're able to coach them. And that means you yourself, you need to be at top there. Do a lot of research, be constant with change, know what is going on outside so that you're able to carry them along in all that they need to do. Again, these are not all the responsibilities of a Scrum Master, but those are basically the main one. And then you will have tools that you have to use, even as a Scrum Master, even though you're not the developer that is building, you're not the software tester that is testing, or the data analyst that is analyzing the data, or the BA that is writing the requirement. You still have your own tools that you use also. You definitely you will have your collaboration tools that you're using with the team. And your collaboration tools include your project board, which you can have Azure DevOps, that's Microsoft one, and then you have the Jira also. They are all project board where the team can collaborate. There's visibility of what they're working on and being able to see, being transparent with what they're working on. Another one is Trello. Trello also is a project board. You have Miro. Miro is a brainstorming board, which the team is able to use when they're brainstorming about things. You can use it during your retro, to put their thoughts out there, to put their comment, post their comment about what the how they see the sprint, and then being able to deliberate on how best to improve it. Also, you have Google Workspace. Google Workspace has the whole thing, the email, the Google Sheets, the Google Form, and all that. That is other tools that you also can use as a Scrum Master to help your team to get better in what all that they're doing. You have Microsoft Office there. Also, you know about Word document. Outlook is the email that you use in communicating. Also, you have the spreadsheets there. You have PowerPoint. You have the Teams channel where you join for meetings and all that. You have all that. You have the shared points there and everything. You have Slack also. That's another tool that some organization use. Also very, very effective. Also, just like the others. And then the old fashioned email is still there. That's not gone anywhere. It's still there. People are still sending email. You will send emails, to yourselves and everything like that, to remind people of some things, to share, documents and all that. You have the face-to-face meeting room experience also is still there. People are using it. So a room is still a tool. The whiteboard is still a tool. Your laptop, tablet, everything is still a tool that you can, the team can make use of to do reporting, that you also can use to do reporting and all that. You can track your like I said, you can track the team's progress through the metrics also. So you have metrics, you have dashboard, you have them in Jira. I think you have them also in Azure DevOps, because they are projects too. So they have those sections on them also, where they can use all those charts, all those metrics, in order to track their progress and their performance also. So you have all those there. You have the retrospective board also, where, like I said, the team can post their comments on and then deliberate upon it, and then discuss and agree improvement plans. So there are various tools. They're not just limited to this. The jotter is still there. The pen is still there. They're old fashioned, but they're still working. They're still doing it. The post notes, all those things are still there that you use as a Scrum Master, and that your team members also use, because you can't put everything in your head. You're not a robot. And I think even a robot doesn't have everything stuck up there, or else they break down and everything. So you still make use of all these tools in order to enhance your skills and the value that you are adding onto your team. Like I said, they are not limited to just those. Okay. So we also quickly want to look at projects that you can work on as a Scrum Master. Okay. So there is this common knowledge that Scrum, Agile, and everything, they are limited to the IT world. But guess what? Agile is being used in every organization as a project management approach, in every almost every industry, every profession out there are making use of it. The healthcare is making use of it. The banking system is making use of it. The government is making use of it. The insurance company, name it, they are all making use of it, not just the IT world. You will notice that in this slide, I didn't put the IT because the whole idea we have in our head is, agile, Scrum. When you make mention of projects, people just put it to, oh, that's IT and all that, but it goes beyond that. Okay. So quickly, I'm just going to go to the next thing. So we just want to quickly look at the Scrum Master's salary range. Okay. So this was updated. Okay, this that you have is on the 18th of August. I think that I captured this. Okay, so the average base salary for a Scrum Master out there. Yeah, as you can see, the entry is 60,000 plus. The average salary is 83,000 plus, and then the senior is 103,000 plus. And then you'll be wondering, what is entry, what is average, what is senior? So our entry is seen as anyone with between 1 to 3 years experience. Average is seen as anyone between 4 to 7 years experience, and then senior is seen as anyone 8 years above. And then I'm sure you're wondering, oh, but I'm just going to do 3 months internship course and all that. So how then do I get my 1 year experience? You'll be surprised that there are people who got their role as a Scrum Master while they were still at the internship. Maybe 2 years into the internship, they got it. So it's all about your commitment. It's all about how you've been able to develop yourself, build yourself, advance yourself. And above all, it's all about how you get to sell yourself. How do you sell yourself to the interviewers? How do you sell yourself to the recruiters? So you can have somebody just having 3 months experience, and then another person having 3 years experience, and they both go to the same interview, and the 3 months person gets it. It's all about how they can sell themselves, how confident they are when they are talking, the kind of things they say, the buzzwords they use in order to be able to get that role. And it also all depends on how hungry you are. Okay, so quickly, this is just kind of a comparison within 8 months interval. So in January 2024, you can see that the average salary is 81,000 plus. By May 2024, it went up to 82,000 plus, and by August is 83,000 plus. I'm sure in the next few months, if you look at it, it might be getting to 85, or even getting closer to 90,000. So you can see that the salary scale is not fixed. It's getting higher and higher there. Who knows, by the time you finish your internship, it might even be 90,000 plus and all that. And you just announce that when you go out there. So the salary is good, but you need to also put the work in place, earn earn what you want. You have to earn it also. It's not given. You have to earn it. So what are the expectations for a Scrum Master? Okay, you need to do the training, which is, I believe, is where everybody's here. You need to do the training for the course, and you need to get your certification. Okay, so your certification is your getting a job is not totally down to your certification. So it's not a do or die that if you don't have a certification, you don't have your certificate, you're not going to get a job. You will get a job if you have your certificate. If the company so much loves your delivery and all that, they will say, you know what, you get the job. Do your certification while you have the job. They might give you a timeline of when they want you to get your certification, and you can be lucky. As I am, that I have my certification before I got the role, but they wanted a particular one. That's the one that the organization used and all that. They paid for it. I did it and I passed it, and they're happy with it. So there are some organizations that do that, but they they put me up for the certification after my probation. So don't expect when you get in immediately that's when they will do it. So because they want you to prove yourself, because before they start using their money, on you. So you're getting the role again is not tied or limited to until you get your certification. But it will also be good for you to have your certification, because there are some jobs out there, they request that you have certification before you apply for it. So imagine if you have your certification already, that means you can apply for any role out there. So you get your certification and then you start actively looking for a job. And that starts from you first creating your CV, getting your cover letter. Your CV has to sell you. You need to start applying for job. Make yourself present on the job site. Create your awareness for yourself on the job site, on the company side, on recruitment side. Create an awareness for yourself there. Post your CVs out there. Get your CV reviewed, which I think for a lot of you that have been attending the Thursday meetings, you've seen that that has been done. And once you get that job, it's not limited to that. You need to keep on improving yourself. You don't stop. The getting the job is not the bus stop. Okay. So you need to personally develop yourself. Research. You know what I was talking earlier on about the Scrum Master? I said the Scrum Master has to be relevant. You need to know about what is happening in the community, what is happening in the agile community. So you might follow, you might join some blogs, relevant and good ones, where you are getting value for what is being discussed, knowledge that is being shared, experiences that is being shared, which you can also use in order to better yourself in your role, in the job that you're doing, or to advance yourself, because you might decide to, kind of go further more than if there's a promotion at your place of work, or you find a better offer out there that you want to go for it. You need to advance, you need to develop yourself further in order for you to be able to do that. So I wish you all the best. I know you've just started the journey, but I assure you that you have started a journey that is going to bring about a change, a big change. Changes that even you might not be aware of right now, but is bringing about a change. And please, I know you might be there already, just you might just go on recruitment sites and everything and just search for jobs, even if you don't have a CV yet. Search for jobs, Scrum Master role. And it's not limited to Scrum Master role alone that you can search for. You can search for Scrum Master roles, jobs that you can apply for, digital Scrum Master, Agile Delivery Lead, Agile Delivery Manager, just search for it. Let it motivate you. The things you see there, let it motivate you and let it bring you back, to get more committed. Let it bring about that yearning in you and that hunger in you to come back, join the classes, join the training, and learn everything that you can learn in order for you to go out there and get that job out there. And I wish each and every one of you all the best. Thank you.